The promise and allure of science when pushed to its greatest extent possible. The incredible danger and exhilaration of dimensional travel, and as Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. This is the world of Half-Life, the world of Black Mesa, the story of mankind's unfortunate attempt to become an interstellar power. Historically speaking, the invention of the atom bomb and nuclear power was a milestone for the United States and eventually the race of mankind in general. I believe the setting of the first Half-Life game, the Black Mesa Research Facility, is ultimately a continuation of the Manhattan Project, started during the Second World War. For one, humanity essentially ascended to a kind of dark and perverse godhood with the bombs. We had the power to destroy an untold scale. A massive increase in UFO sightings and experiences went on in the real world during the 1940s and 50s, according to experts in supernatural. And I personally feel the Black Mesa facility was built up over a period of decades, from what might have been shelters and nuclear silos into a massive underground city devoted to the study of experimental and extremely dangerous science. I sometimes like to think the Black Mesa facility as a fictional Disney World for science in a way. It's probably like the population of like tens of thousands or something like that, if I were to guess, of full-time, part-time, and personal living on the facility itself, buried deep underground, miles and miles below the ground. It's pretty imaginative, actually. So the Half-Life games are shooters, and most of it is action. Though there's a very special form of storytelling that goes on in the game. It tells a story through environment and context instead of just giving the player paragraphs of exposition. But there's a story within the story. There are things I picked up intuitively as I went through it, noticing small details and finding the hidden secrets within plain sight. A lot of it's just my personal view interpretation, but I think some of it is kind of intentional. So I'm going to tell the story within the story of the Half-Life games, from the small things I've noticed as I've played it. I'll make a video for each major section of the game, Episode 2, Episode 1, Episode 2 of Half-Life 2, plus the expansion packs, although I haven't played Alex yet, it's too expensive. But first, I want to talk about the protagonist, Gordon Freeman. I believe Gordon Freeman is the perfect character and mascot for the game, as he's both a soldier and scientist in one person. The scientists and the security guards of the facility know him by name and can identify with him since he lives in both worlds. He's a combination of peak mind and body. He wields guns in the same game, like he's very well trained with them. He is capable of fighting professional soldiers if the need arises, as well as extraterrestrial threats. The HEV suit he wears isn't the typical Space Marine body armor we find in a lot of science fiction shooters. It's durable, but it's also meant more for exploration, for exploring hazardous environments, beyond our plane of existence. But it's also so insanely durable that bullets don't super affect it. The soldiers really have to load Gordon Freeman with like a lot of bullets that hurt him. So it's more of very good in combat as an after effect and not the original intent of the HEV suit. And it's very interesting to note that this kind of says something about the series as a whole, because it's not about battles and wars and great campaigns or politics. It's a war over science and the control over dimensional portals. But what explains his eternal silence, Gordon's eternal silence? It might just be he's very silent, and that's fine. That's a very interesting character, something you can project yourself on as you play him. But there's also, spoilers, the mysterious G-Man, who seems to appear quite a bit just around the corner. And I kind of have a personal theory that the G-Man is controlling Gordon as a vessel. Just as Gordon is your vessel, the player's vessel, he's also kind of the G-Man's vessel. So it's kind of an interesting play, and it's kind of explains a lot of the things, like a lot of the things Gordon does. It's just, I don't know, I find that kind of interesting. I think he might be this G-Man character might be controlling Gordon remotely. Anyway, that's all for the first one. Thank you. I'm Natalie, and I hope you all have a good day.